All right. This isn't right, but don't worry about it. Welcome back, everyone, to an exciting week of Osborne Motors Endurance Challenge. We are back. Week number 4 at Bathurst, despite that saying week number 3 at not Bathurst. We are at Bathurst. Mount Panorama Circuit is its official title, but we're in the full, or really the only really usable configuration of Bathurst we have out here. Once again, another endurance week, so 90 minutes of racing action. We have qualifying well and truly underway, and we'll get into that in just a moment. We'll talk about points for a quick minute. I'm alone in the booth today. My name is Fennicini. I don't think I said that at the top of the order, but that is who I am. That's the person here to give you all the racing action for today. Zoom Zoom Hot Dog Geese. I had to go find that name, whatever the weekly name is for it. Taking a look here. Make sure I got all my options here set up correctly. Quick rundown of today's order. We have qualifying. We have 90 minutes of racing on offer. We have full fuel tanks for these drivers, so one mandatory pit stop as 90 minutes is still longer than the tank on these GT3 machines. Go Adam Dahl. We absolutely will. We'll take a look at him here at a moment. One of the many drivers out on track, also in the pit wall for tonight's race over on the OMEC Discord. I'm sure since I'm free to kind of run around and do whatever the heck I want, I will probably stop by at some point. First, though, a rundown of the points as they currently stand. You'll see if I open up my options here. We're going to hop over to that. You'll see Sanderson's as well, but you'll see the points for this week after 5 races. Is that right? It's been 5 races. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. Okay, cool. Had to count on my hand. Let's go, Luke and DJ. Let's absolutely go. I assume you're going to... Actually, since I'm all by myself, I don't have to kidnap racers. I can just go to them. It's kind of the fun part about being solo in the booth is that I'm not actually attached to being in a booth. Nicholas Maynard is going to lead off the points total here. 4 points ahead of Dan Griffin, who's currently in second. Nick Terrell going to round out that podium, 10 points behind. Nate Sides and Kevin Hayes rounding out the top 5, a little few points away from there. I believe we have our first drop round included in all of these points. Go visiting. That is absolutely the plan. Kevin Collado, Patrick Cantrell, Joe Evers, even though it says Joseph. Joe Evers is how I know him. Brody Wallace, as well as Tyler Roberts, rounding out the top 10 there, all within some pretty close battle to each other. Kevin Hayes and Kelvin Collado as well, 2 points separating those two drivers, so a heated battle between those two for the top 5 spot. Sebastian Trillo, as well as Luke Plaisance, Matthew Markley, William Lemaster, Mauricio Marquez Ramos, Michael Doyen, Jason Larson, and Ben Widener round out the 18 drivers that have points, and then Devin Adams, not Ben Adams, excuse me. Devin Adams has driven a race with us, but has not scored points. In the AM category, Tom Leeson gonna be in the lead there, 20 points ahead of Zachary Holden after the drop round. Adam Dahl, 10 points. Speaking of hot dog water, Adam Dahl in the podium spots, 4 points ahead of Zachary Holden's teammate Hayden Mamenga, who's in 4th. Alex Haller going to round out the top 5 there. Joshua Heartless, George Miles, Landon Orr, Jordan Oliver, and Wesley Woods round out that top 10 there. It's Adam's birthday. You guys didn't tell me when I was in the... Oh, man. I'll have to go back visit and say happy birthday. I had every opportunity. Nobody told me. Anyway. Luke Penley, as well as Daryl Weininger, Jason Scott, Timothy Schaefer, DJ McAteer, Kyle Orbetz, Ken Duvall, Richard Costanza, Liam Beebe, as well as Kurt Bray and James Carnline are going to be the 21 drivers in GT3, and that'll have points. Another set of close battles all up and down the order for positions here. I think it's going to be a fun one to see how the battle for the 3rd place on this podium between Adam Dahl, speaking of, and Hayden Mamenga work itself out with only 4 points separating those two drivers. All right, moving on to team standings for today. Make sure I have this right because half the time it doesn't update when I do it. Okay. Mystery Inc. going to be leading off the team points here. Nick Terrell, Kevin Collado getting home 663 points. A good 100, almost 100 points ahead of Project Zoomies, Tyler Roberts, and Patrick Cantrell. And rounding out that podium, Dangerously Awful Saucy Racing Geese is the week that named there. Tom Leeson as well as Adam Dahl with 530. Not too far ahead of Rolling Chicane. Speaking of Zachary Holden, and Hayden Mamenga. B&B Racing, Nate Sides, Landon Orr, and fifth, Stellar Motorsports Continuum, 100 Force, which is interesting to me that they're, 100 Force, Checkers of Wreckers, Stellar Motorsports Relativity, Prestige Motorsports are the top 10 of the team drivers. We have Ginyu Downforce with Nuke Penley and DJ McAteer, which I believe we had a driver, someone in chat cheering them on, as well as Jason Larson and Tim Schaefer, Michael Doyen, Richard Costanza back after the breaks. Let's go Vets United, Doyen number 39. He is back out on track tonight. I saw that Veterans United track car floating around. Let's drive back into this in-race action. Let's hop over and see where our grid standings are. 10 minutes left in qualifying. Drivers all up and down the order trying to figure out where they want to be. We're kind of following along with some of the exciting action that has Wesley Woods right now in that Sanderson's car. The dynamic cam on Bathurst is a little bit of a more awkward one because it has to count for a lot of elevation. So, but we're following along, I think, with it's going to be Wesley Woods right now, as well as that is going to be Tyler Roberts right behind him. Got to remember that's the black and white Zumi's car, the two Ferraris of Project Zumi's in different colors but same style of livery by Patrick Cantrell, who does such a good job on all the paints for a good portion of this field and this grid. Vets United, Michael Doyen, I think, is currently still in the top. Currently in ninth in the effort to try to set a good lap. Open qualifying today, which means that we got a bit of an interesting kind of qualifying proposition here for these drivers. Nicholas Maynard getting a really good time in 201.97, a whole second ahead of Nick Terrell, who was the only other driver to get, who's currently in second. Able to get a 203. I was going to say only driver to get a 202, but he hasn't even gotten that because that's over a second. I can math. I promise. Wesley Woods going to get out of the way for Tyler Roberts and lift up there after he got his lap in. Michael Doyen on the radio. I believe that's going to be a thank you to, I guess that's Hayden Mamenga just behind him. Those Veterans United drivers currently out. I think we say Mitch Buenaventura as well, also floating around this in a Mercedes. Good to see him back out on track in that GoPro liveried Porsche. I don't know if I saw a Richard Costanza as well from Veterans United or if we just got Michael Doyen tonight. Kevin Hayes currently in third, also looking to improve his time. Nate Sides jumped up the order up into eighth. Going to push some of this grid back down. Michael Doyen getting up into sixth now as I speak about him and the team. Good number of folks also out driving tonight. And currently sitting, I think, in ninth. Marcus Osborne, leading GT3 AM for the moment. No Costanza tonight. I'm working. That is a shame. We will miss you out here. One of my favorite tracks. I love driving it. I love seeing people being able to drive it. So hopefully your work is calm enough to allow you to at least hang out with us tonight. Marcus Osborne a whole second ahead of Zachary Holden, who is currently holding down P2 in the AM category. Tom Leeson a couple tenths behind him in third. The Ben Widener of Pro intersecting those two drivers. Tight battles up and down the order. You look at most of this grid here. I kind of want to take a look at William Master, mostly to point out that between where Kevin Hayes is currently set P3's time and back to, I believe, from the math that I'm mathing, good English, killer English, back down to Marcus Osborne, third to ninth, all within about a few hundredths of a second of each other, and about half a second overall from Kevin Hayes to Marcus Osborne. So it is a very tight grid up at the top 10. It's going to make for really interesting racing. Got to be really careful for these drivers as they get into it. With 90 minutes of driving to go, it's going to be a bit of an enduro, which is kind of the name of the game. Now, one thing we haven't done, I'm going to do it with Nate Sides if he's taking another lap. We haven't gone on onboard. One of my favorite tracks. I love Bathurst. Turn number 1. One of my, well, not really my favorites, but it's like such a good one that gives you like, you're getting back into it. Got 23 corners. Hell Corner. That was that first one. Love it because of the name. Mountain Straight. Because you're going up towards the mountain. From here all the way up to Forest Elbow, which will be 19 corners away. We will have some more racing action. Really hot through here. It's pretty fast in these GT3 cars, especially with the new tire model going through quarry for the first time. Pair of corners known as the cutting in total. A quick, fast left-hander fight, but a much slower left-hander can really unsettle these cars very easily in that first of those two. Going through Griffin's Mount after this turn. Pair of right-handers, and you get up to Reed Park, Frog Hollow, Solomon Park, the Vista, as well as McPhillamy Park. Series of left-handers after Griffin's Mount. Get into Skyline. Get a beautiful look here of the wall as Nate Sides collects it and will find himself hopping out of the car to get back in for another run. So, and it is unfortunate. Speaking of, Kevin Hayes, he's coming down from Skyline. We're going to do the back half of his lap here. The S's, a series of alternating left and right-handers, just of increasing intensity here as you get into it. You're braking pretty much the first half of these. You get in a little bit of the throttle, and then you get back into the brakes for the dipper before it kicks out to Forest Elbow. This nice left-hander here. Pair of left-handers, really, within the dipper, as then Forest Elbow just kind of telling you, hey, you're out of the mountain. The Conrad Straight, the longest straight on this track before it goes into the chase. Now, before the gravel update that made this track actually have this giant gravel pit here that you'll see actually do something, you used to be able to ramp cars off of it and get the long jump, Olympic long jump in cars over that one. The chase, a fantastic set of corners there. Kind of like a chicane almost sort of thing. And then Murray's Corner to round out the 23 corners on this lap. And what the drivers will be going through for approximately 90 minutes. I say it's my favorite track for a reason. Mainly because it's the endurance. I really fell in love with like endurance racing and the concept of consistency and keeping the car clean over raw performance. And, this is something like it also translates so well to like my favorite style of driving, rally racing, and getting the chance to kind of mesh the two for a little while is super fun. So I love it. 3 minutes left in qualifying. Got about time for 1 or 2 more laps, depending on how quick you are around the mountain. William Master, Kevin Hayes still out trying to find a lap time. Jason Larson trying to increase his pace from where he's found himself up in 8th with a 2:04.02. Take a look at those best lap times there. Jason Larson getting a really good lap time in front of the best time. No improvement there for Jason Larson this time out. And who do I see in chat but Mr. Tony Caicedo? Finally able to catch a race. Life giving that Outlander racing driver a break. Just in time to take the fight back to his old rival, Mitch Bonaventura. It's going to be an interesting night tonight for those two drivers. Old feuds, I think, are going to come back up. So I'm excited about that. All right. What else we got? See if he can get a lap in before the time runs out in qualifying. Important for him to do so if he wants to have a good shot at being with the GT3 Pro drivers in the 90 minutes of endurance racing. All right. What am I thinking about? Got a lot in my brain. It's been a long day, so forgive me. My brain is a little bit of a soup. Rally racing followed by commentary apparently takes it out of you, and then going into more commentary is a good time. So I'm excited. Coming down to Conrad Straight. Can Tony Caicedo set a lap time in. He's got a minute to get across the line and to keep that car in one piece up through the chase for the first time on a flyer. And he's going to see if he can put a lap time in. Coming into Murray's corner, he has to keep it together very simply. Comes into the braking zone, brings that car around nice and tidy. And that'll see him get a lap time in. No, it will not. Because that was his out lap. So he's got a lap started, meaning he can choose to finish this one. I believe he has the time. Wesley Woods up the road. I think he's going to try to pull out of the way to let, because that's a pretty slow run. Well, maybe not. I thought it was slower than it was. Around there, Joshua Harless, I think he's going to come around for his final run. Qualifying has the checkered flag to it. Oh, that's a little ways off for Joshua Harless, and he's going to pull the toe out as his race and his qualifying attempts are over. Zachary Holden, however, coming around Murray's corner, see if he can improve from where he sits in 17th overall, second, and about a second and a half behind Marcus Osborne. The answer is no. He has no improvement there. Adam Dahl, one of the last drivers to come across before the end of qualifying. Can he get a lap time in? And the answer there is yes. And he will jump Jordan Oliver for 10th in class and then ram that car into the wall, as he is happy with how that qualifying attempt went. Tony Caicedo, unable to get a lap time in, will find himself stuck at the back of the grid as we get a grid going here in just a moment. Chat up in arms in the best way possible about Adam improving that lap time. It's always lovely to see. So, give you guys a rundown of the grid here in just a moment when it ticks over qualifying, believing it's just taking a little bit more time. And we will get going here soon. Got 32 cars on the grid here, of which 17 are GT3 Pro. And I believe if I do my math correctly, that means 15 of them are GT3 AM drivers. Make sure I'm not missing somebody in my overlays for this. I don't think I am. We had one new driver today, Grayson Parks, joining us for the first time. Be cool to see where they end up. We'll see how long it takes the rest to get changed over. Time is now moving at 4x, which who knows what that does. What a lad, Nicholas Maynard taking home the P1 by over a second to Nick Terrell, both in GT3 Pro and GT3 AM. Those pulse hitters a full second ahead of the rest of their competition. It's going to make for an interesting start to this race. All right, while I'm waiting for qualifying to get done. Hey, Adam.
Hello, Fen.
Happy fucking birthday, dude.
Thank you, sir.
You have so many friends in this chat, and not a single one told me until they told me in text in the chat. So
yeah, I was that was happening.
Yeah, that's fair. But happy birthday and good luck.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to kick this thing off. All right. We have a grid, which means we get to talk about a grid here as we get set to get rolling here on 90 minutes of endurance racing action for the round 4 of the Endurance Challenge, or Osborne Motors Endurance Challenge. Nicholas Maynard going to lead off. Nick Terrell in row number 1. Mitch Ventura in 3rd alongside Nate Sides. Kevin Hayes and William Lemaster are going to be 5th and 6th. Luke Plaisance, Michael Doyen rounding out row number 4. Jason Larson, Dan Griffin going to be in row number 5, 9 and 10th. Marcus Osborne going to lead off GT3 AM in 11th overall. Telvin Collado going to be next to him in 12th. I have to hit the buttons. Hopefully, maybe they'll actually do the thing. Hold please. There we go. Patrick Cantrell alongside Benjamin Widener for row number 7. 15th is going to be Tyler Roberts alongside Joe Evers in 16th. Zachary Holden and Tom Leeson, the other two podium spots, going to be fighting it out in 17th and 18th overall. Daryl Weininger going to be hoping to pick up the pieces from that in 19th. In 20th, it's going to be Sebastian Trulio, Luke Penley, Hayden Mamenga, Joshua Harless. Wesley Woods going to be down to 24th. Got another row to go here, which is going to see Joshua Harless and Wesley Woods in 23rd and 24th. Just talked about them. Tim Schaefer, Adam Dahl, Jordan Oliver, Grayson Parks, Liam Beebe, DJ McAteer, Tony Caicedo, and Alex Haller are going to be rounding out that 32-car grid. Last two not getting a lap time in. Heck of a good time. It's going to be a lot of fun. Gridding underway, meaning we get a formation lap here. And it's going to be kicked off with the likes of Nicholas Maynard to keep an eye on Nick Terrell for the opening lap. All these cars, shortened pace lap, meaning we don't get a whole lot of time to warm up the tires before they go green, which means it's going to be important for them to keep an eye on that. Be careful, be kind to one another as we get ready to go green. Given how this happens, these drivers all get to go green at the same time when the green flag drops, meaning that we got to wait until they do so. Pace car will peel in. You see Nicholas Maynard kind of hanging back and waiting for the field to jump up, bunch up, or jump up, one of the two. And we'll see how this kicks off here in just a moment's time. You're going to see the green flag drop, red lights turn on for us, and that means we have green flag racing. And Nicholas Maynard going to keep it too wide with Nick Terrell, both getting a good run here. Luke Plaisance getting a great run on Kevin Hayes in the background of all this, but having to take the inside line keeps them too wide and keeps Luke Plaisance just behind him. William Master, most of the rest of the grid getting themselves sorted through turn number 1. We have a pretty stable field. I'm kind of looking further back here, make sure all these drivers get through turn number 1's okay, and that is the case. Further up at the head of the field, Nicholas Maynard gonna run away with it pretty quickly, extending that gap to about a second. Mitch Bonaventura hounding Nick Terrell, as well as Nate Sides, and Kevin Hayes gonna be duking it out over 4th as they get to the cutting for the first time, working their way around technical corner. See how the rest of the field does. Ken Michael Doyen also working through pretty well. Jason Larson jumping him and William LeMaster there at the start. Dan Griffin a little ways back, losing a spot out to Kelvin Collado of all people. Not that I'm saying Kelvin Collado can't hold his own, doing just fine in that GT3 Aston Martin. Marcus Osborne kicking it off as we get into Skyline for the first time. All these drivers working well. Kelvin Collado, I think, having a quick moment with the wall there, but getting that car sorted pretty easily as we get through the S's for the first time. Look at that ground shot. Get to see all these cars go piling over that speed cam and into the dipper for the first time. Falcon Tire livery around the outside of that. Couple of scrapes with the wall, including Dan Griffin. And up at the front of the field, Nicholas Maynard off on kind of his island already. 2 seconds ahead after the first lap. The rest of the field slowly piling in behind. Mitch Bonaventura really trying to leverage the draft here to get a good run into the chase. And we're going to see him stick behind for the moment. The rest of the field, so far, so good. Wesley Woods having a bit of a slow start, but keeping his car going the right direction as well. Is going to see all of these drivers make it through lap number 1 for the moment. I don't want to count the chickens before the eggs have hatched. 208 out of Nicholas Maynard, 211 out of Nick Terrell, and 211, 212 out of most of the rest of the field. Much quicker initial lap time for Nicholas Maynard. Sees him 3 seconds up the road and kind of off on an island. It's going to be an interesting thing to see if Nick Terrell or anyone else can bring kind of the battle back to him. Kind of following along with this battle here. I kind of want to see if we can ride along board, maybe with Nate Sides. Well, I mean, that worked out really well last time. Keep an eye on, just look at the train of cars. Actually, I want to go ride on board off the back, if I can, of Nick Terrell. You can kind of see it. There's no good. Not good in the way I wanted it to be. Oh well. You can see the line of cars behind Nick Terrell and how much pressure he's dealing with tonight as he keeps that car moving the right direction. Porsche's up in the top here as we go over the skyline for the second time. See these 3 cars breaking away from Kevin Hayes, who's just behind, and he's duking it out with Luke Plaisance as well as Jason Larson. All 3 of those drivers getting settled in as we get into the second lap here and get back into the dipper for the second time. Such a fun kind of, you brake just a little bit into that first corner. Just light touch of the tire barrier there. Hayden Mamenga getting it off track, but getting it wrangled up pretty easily. A very good start to this race. Dan Griffin having the look to return the fight with Kelvin Collado. Kelvin Collado gonna make it too wide here. These two got to go into the chase. Dan Griffin makes it look a little easy, but he's going to go off track. I say that, and he has made it not look easy. That's going to give him a bit of a slowdown here, give the position back to Kelvin Collado, as well as one to Marcus Osborne, who's still leading GT3AM from where he sits. Jordan Oliver labeled as crashed twice here. Dan Griffin going off track there amongst all of it. I want to see what happened real quick to Jordan Oliver. This is going to be in the dipper for the second lap in a row in GT3AM. I think he gets, just a little bit of a spin there out of Wesley Woods. And that's going to, you can see that back right rear is going to not be moving or look like it is actually put on that car at all. And he's going to end up towing that car after he tries to get it probably back up to speed, learns that it crashes. Whole bunch of cars diving off track. The easy running of the early race kind of coming to a slow close as people begin to dodge and dive and fight for spots further on, up and down the field. Nick Terrell, Mitch Bonaventura, a pair of drivers here. You'll see them dive over McKinley Park. McPhillamy Park. Not McFinley. McPhillamy Park. There we go. And getting to Skyline once again. Getting through lap number 3. 3 times up the mountain, now 3 times down. It's going to be a bit of a heck of a run. Jahid Mamenga getting a little bit off as well. Tony Caicedo up 9 spots from where he started, currently working his way through the field. Joshua Harless listed as crashed amongst all that, and he has jumped to the pits as well. Our second Solarum Motorsports GT3 Corvette going to find its way into pit road. Hayden Mamenga getting I think just trying to avoid Hayden Mamenga, and then that just clobbers the wall, and that car going to come to a breaching halt, which is going to cause all those cars to work their way through. Hayden Mamenga finding himself at the back of the field, but still doing well. Patrick Cantrell now trying to hound Dan Griffin as a result of Dan Griffin having a bit of a slow lap, trying to avoid, I think, an incident with Marcus Osborne, which has cost him a second. Up at the front, Nicholas Maynard 4 seconds ahead of Nick Terrell and Mitch Bonaventura, as well as a battle for P4 between Nate Sides, Kevin Hayes, as well as Luke Plaisance. Taking a look further up and down the order. Close battle between Michael Doyen, as well as Kelvin Collado and William Lasser to a lesser degree, as Kelvin Collado and Marcus Osborne seem to be finding the pace to keep up with a lot of the GT3 Pro field. Hayden Mamenga going to dive into pit lanes, take that fast repair early and get that car moving again. just want you to know, with Marcus having that incident, I really think it's unfair of him that he's not in chat for me to pull him in and do the thing that he does to drivers so often. So just keep that in the back pocket, Marcus. Meanwhile, battle here happening pretty quickly. We saw a pass here between Leo Master and Luke Plaisance. I believe I spoke about it. Not 100% sure whether or not I was muted or not, because I kind of had a brief moment to think of missing where that is. Tony Caicedo on the hunt against Daryl Weininger for what is 18th overall. Tony Caicedo up 12 places to find himself about 3 seconds back from the next GT3 Pro driver. Leans on the door. Daryl Weininger's Ford Mustang gets the pass done expertly. I'd say an expert move there for him. Now he's getting up to the lead of GT3 AM. Pretty spacious group here. GT3 Pros all ahead of GT3 AMs. Dan Griffin, slow run there. Gets Patrick Cantrell into the battle with him. I wonder what happened there. Or it was just a slow run for these two drivers. Patrick Cantrell fighting Dan Griffin. I wonder if Dan Griffin has damage. I don't see it on his car, at least very visibly from these onboard or from these cameras. I wonder if I can see it from, if I go to Patrick Cantrell and go to a rear look out of the wing. Just want to see if I can see something on that GT3 Lamborghini. Or Lamborghini GT3, one of the two. I think the answer is I don't. Interesting. I wonder if that's something I can't see from that angle, or maybe it's just something that's not being caught there. That or Dan Griffin is simply not as fast as I think he is in this race, which is also possible, but he's generally pretty consistent, so we'll see how that pays out for him over the course of this race. 15, or coming up on 12 minutes, not quite 15, pretty close, but not quite. 10 minutes in of an hour and 30, meaning we got 70, 80. Math. 80 minutes. There we go. English. Tony Caicedo still working his way through. Battle starting to separate. Not fully. We got a whole train of cars behind Jason Larson, and to a lesser extent, Kevin Hayes, who's at the front of all these. Kind of want to see what the roof cam shows me off of Michael Doyen's Veterans United GT3. This whole group of cars up ahead, kind of the closest on-track battle, besides a couple that we've kind of taken a look at further back. But in terms of overall groups of cars fighting it out over positions, this is one of the few remaining ones. We have pockets of fights happening as well. Nick Terrell, Mitch Buenaventura still in a locked battle as well, as we ride on board with him for a moment. Then we also got Dan Griffin and Patrick Cantrell for GT3 Pro. GT3 AM sees Tom Leeson and Daryl Weininger, as well as Luke Penley, going to be all battling out for the podium spots of GT3 AM now that Marcus Osborne has found his way down to the bottom of that order. I'm going to wait till Tony comes back down the order to pull him into the broadcast booth. Just going to want to say hi. Dan Griffin going to be leaning on the door of Patrick Cantrell as these two come down the S's for the 7th time tonight. And Dan Griffin trying to find the way through. It's always such a hard part to do it on the mountain. Keeps sticking the nose out like he wants to make the pass. I think he's going to wait until he gets a good run out of the dipper here in order to make that job a reality. Good run for him here. Oh, he has the look on the inside of El Forrest's elbow. It's going to be a drag race between these two. You can see, I think Patrick Cantrell going to give him a little bit of room to make it an easy one. And they both come down the Conrad straight once again. Dan Griffin getting the pass made Adam Dahl, oh no, finds his way into the wall. Good heads-up driving from all of these drivers, and he's going to wait until he has a great opportunity. Big old gap here. Oh, still crunches the front nose there. That car, a little worse for wear, but so far, so good. All right. What's going on?
Ben, what's up, man? How you been?
Not much. Doing well. Just wanted to say hi, because I haven't seen you in forever, man.
I know, dude. Work consumes my life now. I'm a corporate slave.
That sounds
Terrible.
awful. Why?
Yeah. It's brutal. Why? Because the paycheck is fat.
That's what they want you to do. You sell your soul for money. No, that's all
Pretty
good.
much.
That's all
Pretty
good.
much. Yeah,
But
for real.
cool.
Oh, dude, it feels good to be back, though.
You picked a heck of a
I just
week for
wanted
it.
to get home.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. I saw Bathurst. I was like, oh, someone's got to do it.
I'll let you know.
But,
Marcus has already crashed, and I'm really bitter I can't pull him in here in the middle of his crash to ask him what happened.
Why? Is he not in
No.
the chat?
No. He said he would hop in here while he was racing, and then he didn't do it.
Wow.
What the heck, man?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, right? It's almost like this league's named after him or something. I'm just gonna roast him a little bit.
Right?
No. But heck yeah. Moving on up in the order.
Yeah, little by little. I was sad I didn't get a chance to put in a qualifying lap. Actually got home at like 7:30 on the dot, give or take.
Mhm.
But hang on one second.
You're good.
But sorry, it's like Bathurst is like
Oh, yeah.
talk focus.
Yep.
But yeah, I got home 7:30 and I was like, great, let's hop on. And I was playing some iRacing this weekend, and go figure, there's an update.
Yep.
And I get in at 7:55. So what can you do?
Well, you still got plenty of time here.
But-
You're moving up the order.
Yeah.
It's gonna be. I don't know. I'm just excited to see it, man. It's been a while. I'll let you get back to it before you get too many off tracks here. So I will
All right. Thank you.
come bother y'all at the end. So good luck.
Yeah, sounds good, man. Thanks.
All right, Tony Caicedo, currently sitting 16th overall, as well 16th in class, and working his way towards Sebastian Trulio, who he's about a second behind now. Grayson Parks getting off track there after the chase, coming up to Murray's corner. He's going to see them drop up down the order. Marcus Osborne back up into 6th as a result of a bunch of litany of incidents here. Missing his hood. What? Is that because of the Adam Dahl incident? Hold on. I want to see what happened here. Because he has his hood here. And then Adam Dahl has a spin right in the middle of the S's here. You'll see it happen in just a moment's time. Oh, crunch moment there. Oh, what? No, okay, here already has it off by that point. All right, we're just going to ride on board with Marcus. All right. Marcus, what happened here? I just got to know. Oh, you just rear ends and then gets woof. All right, on the recovery drive for him. He's about to catch up to Liam Beebe, who I think is a little bit involved in that. Meanwhile, battle for the entire GT3M podium as Joe Weininger, Luke Penley, as well as Tom Leeson all are on a battle here and on a mission. Tom Leeson going to lean out of the way of Darrell Weininger. I wonder if he has a slowdown to serve. I don't know where from, though. Maybe just a bad exit and he almost lost it and catches it at the last moment. Sees him dip down into 3rd from where he is. Such a fun car to listen to on the inside and the outside too, but we'll see that battle change hands and kind of spread out a little bit as a result. All right. See what else is happening further up and down the order. We have those three in a battle there. Tony Caicedo slowly catching up to Sebastian Trulio. There's two fantastic dogs. Few tenths there. A lot of the battles spread out by seconds at this point. We'll be looking at the battles for overall and how these battles will develop over the course of the remaining hour and 10 minutes. Oh, no. Tony, no. Oh, this is a clunkers moment. That car does not turn, and he will have to tow it. Heartbreak befalls Tony Caicedo. He gets the car going again, not wanting to take the tow. It's going to be a little bit interesting, as his front right is just off. But he's going to get it around, take that early pit stop. Puts on the flashers as he works his way around. Watching him close in on that battle there. Tom Leeson not 2 seconds behind these two. Wonder if he also has damage. That's interesting. We'll see those two going for a fight there. Battle on track for the GT3 AM lead between Luke Penley and Daryl Weininger. Tony Caicedo, I think, gonna be able to nurse it into pit lane. Heck of a run there, being able to do that. We'll see him come in, take the early pit stop. He'll have to do a heck of a lot of fuel saving, or come in for a second one here at the end. Luc Plaisance under fire from Michael Doyen after a bad run through the cutting this time by. 10 laps in, working on lap 11 right now. And Michael Doyen really trying to find how he can make the last couple seconds here between himself and Luc Plaisance to move up the order. It's such a fun run down the S's. Oh, these cars are getting lighter, though. You can see the way that they've been taking these cars and how the tires are starting to wear for them. It's not, it's not unmanageable. It's just something they have to start keeping an eye on, because they're not as heavy as they once were, and they should be a little easier to drive. And it doesn't mean they're not going to push them to the ragged edge and see how far they can take it before they fall off of it. Good run there, but being patient, I think, is going to pay off for him in the long run. As William LeMaster is also under fire from his teammate once again. These two battling it out. Nicholas Maynard continuing to get faster, continuing to build that 13-second gap he has for himself up at the front of the field. Tony Caicedo getting those tires warmed up. Take a quick look at where Nicholas Maynard is working his way around Adam Dahl, another driver with an incident. There's a few of them out on track. Mitch Bonaventura making the look. Tucks back in behind Nick Terrell, but this might be a battle that is going to develop here. And Grayson Parks off track as well. Dan Griffin off track. Not huge time loss there for those drivers. One of the few battles still on track. These two here. We got the battle between Luc Plaisance as well as William LeMaster and Michael Doyen, as well as Daryl Weininger and Luke Penley for the lead of GT3 AM. Marcus Osborne slowly coming into a fight with Tim Schaefer, I think, amongst all these. All right. Taking a look here, trying to see what the long-term plan would be for these drivers. I kind of want to ask, but I don't think there's a good opportunity to ask without causing problems for Nick Terrell what he's going to do here. I don't want to take him out of a fight with Mitch Bonaventura at the moment. Darrell Weininger allowing Luke Penley through. I think he had a bit of a run that he wasn't expecting there. Marcus Osborne on the hunt as well. Looking to get around Tim Schaefer. Has to tuck in for the draft. We'll see if he pops back out again. Looks like he does. It's going to be a drag race for these two drivers. I think he has a little more drag than the Aston Martin does, but gets that pass done pretty quickly. Finds himself back up into fourth. And now a 14-second gap to run down between himself and the podium sitters. Important part for this, Marcus Osborne not going to get scored with either team, either classification of GT3, either Pro or AM. He's just out to have a good old time. So we put him in AM because that's where he was before. But wherever he ends up, we'll see them often. It'll not be for a final points paying result. It'll just be for funsies. Dan Griffin really pushing to try to find time here and ends up seeing like he's running a little bit out of the groove as a result. Such a unique racing line that you kind of have to adhere to, especially in the GT3s when you don't have a whole lot of wiggle room. And I think it's one that's going to be interesting to see how well people can find their way back into and out of it. Taking a look at the order. Kind of have to fill some time here. Tony Caicedo, Adam Dahl. That's Adam Dahl. Drag race with Tony Caicedo. Tony Caicedo really late on the brakes there and ends up pushing that car out too far wide. Adam Dahl working his way around. The rest of the field working their way through. And he's going to punch it. Try to get that car back up to fighting speed again. Nate Sides in the background now as he went over the edge once more. Going to try to keep that car out of the way of drivers here. Going to be a little bit interesting how much slower he is than Kevin Hayes or a lot of these drivers. So see him kind of keep himself on the thing there. See how well he can do that. Jason Larson able to keep that car going the right direction. William Master as well. Luke Plaisance getting passed by Michael Doyen. Right in the middle of this. So they're coming up, coming through. You have just a great look around the outside. And makes that done. Or gets it done, I should say. Nick Terrell having to serve a slowdown penalty. We'll see him cede second place to Mitch Bonaventura for this race. Kelvin Collado getting caught up to by Dan Griffin. Dan Griffin is able to get some pace back into that car. Grayson Parks coming back down pit lane, as well as Adam Dahl for incidents there. I think we'll also see, I believe, Tony Caicedo work his way back down into pit lane is my guess. That right-hand side of that machine is not quite happy. Michael Doyen now defending from Luke Plaisance, who seems to have a great run into Hell Corner. Turn number 1. See if Michael Doyen has the over-under for him. Not quite. It's going to tuck in that Veterans United. Luke Plaisant's going to weave down the straightaway. Makes the one move. See if he makes the second one here. Dan Griffin also getting around Kelvin Collado amongst this. So it's going to be interesting to see. Oh, there's the look from Michael Doyen. Blocked off by Luke Plaisant. That's going to see him have to give a little bit more time. Whoa, Dan Griffin in the background. Looked like he almost lost control of that, but he was able to wrangle it up. Big slide for him there as he's trying to push his way back up the order. Let's see how these drivers are able to get time there. Michael Doyen losing almost a second of time there. A pretty busy one. Keeping up with these drivers. It's the only real battle on track at this point. A pretty hefty Wesley Woods going to intersect some of these drivers for position there as he gets that car continuing to get it to move the right direction on its own. And that's going to bring the fight between Kelvin Collado and Dan Griffin back into a fight. Or back into contention, I should say. I would say 2, 3, 4. Looking as well, Jason Larson, William LeMaster going to be finding themselves in a little bit of a fight. Lap times out of LeMaster, a couple tenths faster over these last couple of laps. Wasn't intending for that to rhyme, but it was kind of fun that it did. A whole host of cars behind these two, though. You can see them there all coming up the mountain straight. Daryl Weininger also getting back into contention for the GT3 leader, along with Luke Penley. Luke Penley, I think, going to give the position back, or at least fight about it. Marcus Osborne continuing to close down that gap to Tom Leeson. Now 8 seconds the better. Oh, Daryl Weininger going to tuck back in behind Luke Penley. Joshua Harless, having got that car crashed, or car back out, has once again found it to be crashed. I think it was in the Skyline. High commitment zone, just too much rotation initially. Follows a teammate off track. Oh. Adam Dahl, was he also there? No, he was somewhere else. Who was that in the piece there? Hayden Omega or DJ McAteer? Oh. Heartbreak for Adam there. See if it was, I think it was DJ there. You can see him trying to stay out of the way of some of these drivers. Gets really wide. Ends up just kind of being off track. And then you see Joshua Harless kind of join in on this. Finds himself just into the tires there. And that's what causes him to have a meatball flag from that incident. Joe Evers also getting that car back out to get some good points in case he has one that is worse for a drop round. Got 3 drop rounds for these drivers over the course of this season. So 3, it's basically your best 5 weeks of the race here. Daryl Weininger manages to keep that car out. Luke has gone into pit lane. And that is why Daryl Weininger is going to take over the lead again, and Tom Leeson is going to take over P2 here. Marcus Osborne coming in to pit as well. We are kind of in the pit window now, anywhere from here to the 60-minute mark. As we get 35 minutes on the clock, we'll see these drivers all work their way through. Dan Griffin back on track. Oh, excuse me. As I bought my microphone once more. Kevin Hayes and Jason Larson find themselves in a bit of a fight. Jason Larson getting his personal best in his most recent time by, and the same lap time as, a 100th slower lap time than Kevin Hayes, who's right in front of him. And there's Jason Larson with the look. Kevin Hayes diving into the pit box this time by 2 to get his required pit stop done. For a lot of these drivers who have a little bit of damage, like I think we saw Kevin Hayes maybe have a scrape or 2 there, coming in early is great for that reason, because you get to take the fast repair or the general repair and get that car back out onto the race with a little bit better opportunity. A few of these drivers getting their meatballs repaired now that they have come in twice. One fast repair for them, and then they're on their own to repair it. Dan Griffin hunting down Michael Doyen to try to improve his standing. See if they're right on board with Dan Griffin. You see how the lines are taken differently between this mid-engine Lamborghini GT3 and the rear-engine Porsche just in front. So much more confidence on the braking. Almost too much. He almost runs into Michael Doyen. Oh, right. It's definitely understandable, Joshua Harless giving the apology onto the stream to DJ McAteer for that. It definitely, what it looked like to me was you got a little bit loose and then just target fixated on the object you were trying to avoid. It happens. And as long as you voice it, I would say in the Discord would be the best way. That's what we have drop rounds for as well. It's a good opportunity to make use of one of those for a few of these drivers. Biggest on-track action right now. These two drivers right here, a couple further back in the order as well. I'm sure we'll get into, especially as the pit cycle takes everyone back into kind of the order they were in before the pit cycle for a few of these drivers. Liam Beebe going to join the drivers that are struggling with this mountain. The crash there has got that car going again. Let's take a quick look at what happened here. High commitment Skyline, just a little wide there, and that is going to send that car so loose. Oh, big crunch in the front, small slide further down. Gets that car. Well, except for a little bit more of a crunch. That front end doesn't look too happy, but the car overall looks like it could be okay. So, keep an eye on these two drivers. The battle that is happening here between them. Oh, Dan Griffin trying to look for that opportunity there. Getting to Skyline once again. And it is a heck of a run from here down the S's into the final corner, going towards the Dipper. Dan Griffin much more confident on the braking zone and in the braking. Sees him kind of close down the gap pretty quickly between these drivers, but then great exit speed out of Michael Doyen. Sees them kind of stretch back out a little bit. Both of them running faster laps this most recent time by than Luc Plaisance up the road. Michael Doyen diving into the pit lane to get his pit stop out of the way. Good chance to do that. Car looks like I have a little bit of a little front end damage, but not a ton. Maybe I'm just seeing things. Could be also the possibility. Kelvin Claudio going to take over a spot from him, as well as a couple others. And we'll kind of see, I think, this kind of filter feed almost of drivers coming in from where they currently sit in the race as they get into it. Especially just having an off track there in the chase. Going to see him drop down a couple positions from where he is, and then he's going to dive into pit lane for his pit stop. Howdy, Nick.
Hey there.
Are you going to be able to catch Mitch by the end of this?
He's been gapping me, so I don't know. Probably not. He seems a little quicker in race pace.
Okay. Well,
You know I'm gonna try that.
I was going to say, are you going to try at least? Fair.
I'm gonna try. We'll see where it's stacked up a pit too. I mean, he
Yeah.
was behind me for a bit, so I'm sure he saved some fuel as well. So he might have just played the better game this time. I had to slow down. I had to kind of check up for Tony a little, and I gave Mitch the opening to get by me.
Ah.
Tony had a hardware error. His brakes wouldn't work. So
Oh, that's what happened there.
Car sitting there. I was like, shit, what's going on?
Just trying to figure out what happened.
Yeah, so I cut through there just in case he popped over and didn't have a way to bleed off that slowdown, so I had to let Mitch by. But obviously he was quicker, so I'm gonna try to do what I can though.
All right. Well, good luck. I'll get you out of here before we get into the cutting or getting too serious in the mountain. So have fun. Nick Terrell, currently in third, was fighting with Mitch Bonaventura. Hope that battle continues. If you can. William Master, Jason Larson still working their way through as well. See what becomes of this battle. One of the few battles on track. Luc Plaisance, into pit lane, getting his pit lane done. As well, Hayden Mega going to serve his drive-through penalty for incident limits. It happens to the best of us in this track. Joe Evers and Sebastian Trulio are going to come out together to kind of bring into a fight. Joe Evers pitting really early to get repairs done. If I ever see Joe in a chat, I need to ask him why he chose the Audi. It's a bold choice. You don't see it too often. It's notably not the most... It's maybe not the most predictable. Ooh, Luc Plaisance. Kevin Hayes going to be duking it out too wide as they go into the cutting. And I think Kevin Hayes getting the better run there. Luc Plaisance getting on the radio as they get up through Quarry. Not the Quarry. There's only 23 corners. I only know most of them. Through Griffins. There we go. Officially getting to the halfway mark here. 45 minutes elapsed. 45 minutes to go. It's going to be an interesting one. I think 5 battles are coming back together a little bit now as the race continues on. And Hayden Mamenga come back through to serve a pit lane penalty. Oh, Tony Caicedo crashed once again. Bit of a heartbreaker. I wonder if he's still having those technology issues. Oh, you see? Oh, that one just looks like a... Oh. You don't see it there because of the angle. Oh, and then he jumps to pits. A bit of a heartbreaker for him as he continues to work his way through. Battles now in kind of the pit lane strategy phase, like what Nick Terrell was talking about. Nick Terrell coming in, speaking of, to serve his one stop for the race. Curious to see where Mitch Bonaventura will come out as well. Hayden Mamenga serving the stop and go penalty issued to him, I think, for speeding on pit lane, as we see Dan Griffin also make his way into the box. Joe Avers, Sebastian Trullo, I haven't ridden on board with an Audi this season. Same beautiful V10 engine, I think, that we got on the Lamborghini. But just a little bit, I think, cooler sounding. Sebastian Trullo trying to keep that car going the right direction. Battle for 15th or 14th in class. Tony Caicedo, I think, thrown in the towel, unfortunately, for the evening. Marcus Osborne sitting in 7th overall. You see Dan Griffin. Ooh. In the box for 45 seconds. Is that a black flag? Hold on. All right. In there for over a minute. I got a feeling that is the case. Because 20 seconds pit stop. You have a 40-second stop and hold. That'll be the case. And that's what you see there. So Dan Griffin going to get that car going once again, as Nate Sides now comes in to serve his pit lane, do his pit stop for the night. William Master also going to join him. Good, most of the field at this point having come down for one reason or another. Huge amount, I think, of attrition as well. We have, I think, not as many as I thought. We just have a bunch of cars that lap down. We have, I think, 5 out at the moment. Tony Caicedo, Joshua Harless, Alex Holler, and Tyler Roberts, and Jordan Oliver. As Nicholas Maynard runs into, I won't say what it does run into, but almost runs into a little bit of traffic. Liam Beebe, having yet to come into pit lane, is going to find himself pretty sufficiently in 5th overall, driving amongst the people on the top of the podium prior to the pit cycle. And now he's going to be trying to see how he can keep up with them or what he can learn. Gap between Joe Evers and Sebastian Trullo, by the way, up a fair bit. Well, not a ton of bit, but a little bit. As drivers kind of begin to get the feel for where they want to be. Wesley Woods coming in to serve his pit stop for the evening. Tim Schaefer, Zachary Holden battling it out. What is currently P2 and P3 will, I think, be net P5 and P6. Fastest lap for the GT3 drivers out of Marcus Osborne, who's come in to serve Kevin Hayes. Has disappeared? Oh no. It's a long gap. Kelvin Collado into pit lane. I don't see Kevin Hayes coming back on track. I'm a little concerned. Kelvin Collado into pit lane for his mandatory stop. We lose Kevin. Lovely sim crash. Oh, damn. A heartbreaker for Kevin Hayes as the sim had a crash. He will join, I think, are now 6 drivers that have had issues. And Michael Doyen, Tom Leeson. Tom Leeson having yet to get his pit stop done. Michael Doyen having gotten his done. Means that these two are going to be duking it out. I think we got to see Calvin Collado come out just ahead of Michael Doyen. Tom Leeson, I think, going to give some instructions to Michael Doyen because he's going to try to let him by without too much issue. Not battling for position, battling for overall. But I think Michael Doyen wanting to get into the fight with Kelvin Collado, who is just up the road for GT3 Pro positions. Oh, especially as Kelvin Collado has to run really slow through the cutting this time by. Oh, getting out of the way. Oh, no. He's crashed. What happened there? Oh. Was there an incident there? Hold on. Let's take a quick look back. I want to see if I can ride along. Not of... That's already... Moment has passed. All right. I'll sit here. I want to ride on this. This might be a great shot for it once we get up to it. So bear with me just a moment. Calvin Collado is going to run a little slow through the cutting here. I think it's where he got loose coming into this corner. Yeah, you see that bit of snap as he tracks that car keep it from oversteering. Runs really slow. No, just tries to get out of the way or not lose control of that car and finds it in the wall. Does get it going again. That front left, very upset amongst all that. That's going to make it really hard for him to turn. May have to come down and get a fast, quick repair in. Dan Griffin off track and jumped to pits. This is what happened there. We're into the dipper. Oh. That was brutal. Kelvin Collado, look at us going off track here into the pit lane, which may have seen him caught. Oh, it might be an unsafe pit entry as a result because that's going to be off track there. Hits the wall as well. So we'll see what happens for that driver as he gets his car. Well, he's back out again. Hey, good. All right. So it is not an unsafe pit entry. Love to see it. Does see him drop down the order, though, having to take a second pit stop. But he'll get some good ability to recover there from where he currently is. Nicholas Maynard, Mitch Bonaventura, Jason Larson, Patrick Cantrell, Tom Leeson, Tim Schaefer are the only 6 drivers that have yet to come in to get in to have their mandatory pit stop done. Liam Beebe, I think, coming in to get that car put back together. You can see that nice, beautiful front end. Kevin Hayes getting back into sim. I think we'll see him come back out to finish this race as well. He'll be at a lap or two down at this point from that crash of the sim. Taking a look here, battles on track, pretty spread out. Got one for overall position. That's going to be between Marcus Osborne, Joe Evers, and Sebastian Trulio. These three still within about 2 seconds of each other. And Marcus Osborne looking to make time up here from his incident earlier. That'll be just for overall positions. Oh, Sebastian Trulio getting... Oh, that is a missing front end. What happened? Hold on. Okay, he has... All right, forgive me. I'm going to be a little bit archaic. I'm going to just rewind from here. Did he just hit it just right? Or has it just been... How long was he doing this? All right. I give up. He lost at some point in that lap. And had an issue there. Kelvin Quado coming down to pit lane. What for? Already came down once. Is this the thing I was talking about? A unsafe pit entry? Very confused. Luke Penley now in this fight from when he comes in to get his pit stop done. Tom Leeson also... Sorry. Yeah, that's right. Get his pit stop done. Sebastian Trulio getting that car put back together, I think, with an actual repair. And these three drivers, 2 GT3 AMs separated by 1 GT3 Pro. Tim Schaefer going to dive in. Tom Leeson diving in for his pit stop. Tim Schaefer, kind of the lone GT3 AM driver who has yet to take a pit stop yet. Up 15 spots overall and up 8 in class. You can see that there. One of 4 drivers now, as with Jason Larson coming in to take his pit stop. We're getting into the hour mark. We're kind of close to that time period where drivers will have to come in to take the pit stop if they haven't. Most of them already have, kind of whenever they hit that spot of either getting damage or a couple other things. We'll see that come to down to the box. Taking a quick look at my endurance team, as one of them is in a GT or one of the Daytona 500 stuff for ovals. I was taking a quick look at that, which is what I was making kind of noises about, I guess, to be the best way to put that. I was curious how they were doing. The answer is so far so good. So it's exciting to see that. Marcus Osborne off track once again. Dan Griffin still in pit lane at this point. for 6 minutes. A lot of damage and repairs there. Nicholas Maynard diving into the pit lane here from where he leads the race. And then we'll see if Mitch Buenaventura joins him here in a moment from the lead. If he takes over that lead for a lap. I have to imagine it's soon. An hour has passed. Tim Schaefer going to come in from GT3 AM. Mitch Buenaventura doing great fuel saving is going to stick it out for one more lap. And be able to make a little bit of time there. Wesley Woods in that number 2 car. Brakes early, allows Mitch Buenaventura to keep on going. Sorry, that number 2 car is not Wesley Woods. I don't know who I think it was. No, it is Wesley Woods. In that Sanderson's liveried Porsche. Did their ad read last week. I almost said yesterday, like that was a day ago. Last time out when we went to Navarra and Barcelona. Had a good time with it. I've been told there's more shenanigans afoot whenever I'm ready for it, which is not right now. Kind of hanging out with these 3 drivers. Marcus Osborne at the tail end of these trio, all within a second and a half of each other. Really about a second of each other. William Master, I think, closing in on Jason Larson as well. Oh no, Tim Schaefer. Labeled as crashed. Let's see what happened here. Oh, loses it. Coming out of the fresh pit stop. Jason Larson and William Master. Sorry, yeah. Jason Larson, Wilson. Oh, bit of a moment there as Wesley Woods tries to stay out of the way of these 2 drivers. Sebastian Trullo going to dive in once more for another pit stop after, I think, some damage there. Grayson Parks labeled as crashed amongst this as well. Battle here, as well as a battle between Patrick Cantrell and I think Nick Terrell. Yep. Tyrrell, excuse me. Let me try to say that right. So that was corrected by Marcus Osborne, which, you know what? I should probably ask him at some point. I'll ask him when he gets free of this. Tim Shaver. Well, that's Tyrrell or Terrell or what have you. Ooh. Patrick Cantrell on a giga save of fuel has yet to come in. Mitch Buenaventura going to come in and come out with one of the closer lap times here. Patrick Cantrell a little bit late on the brakes. Nick Terrell going to capitalize on that. We're going to go too wide for these 2 drivers. You hear that lift out of Patrick Cantrell as he's just going to let Nick Terrell by amongst all that. William Master, Jason Larson kind of communicating on the radio what the play is between these 2. Jason Larson going to let him by as he believes that William Master is faster. So those 2 battles, I think, coming to a relatively close conclusion. With a meatball flag this time in a really bad spot. It's going to tow it. Let's take a quick look at what happened there. Already a damaged car. I wonder if he just over-rotates it coming into Griffin's. Yeah, look at it. There's the over-rotation, and there's the smack along the wall, and that causes that left rear. You can see it there just to be off the suspension. DJ McAteer with a meatball, not a meatball, black flag for incident limits. Jason Larson, Luke Plaisance, as well as William Master, all within a few tenths of each other. Patrick Cantrell finally coming into the box after his, I would say, rather extensive fuel save. We'll see him come down to get that pit stop done. William Master also diving in. Interesting to see what for. Doesn't have a black flag that I can see. Maybe he doesn't have enough fuel to make it to the end. Nicholas Maynard, who's right behind Joe Evers here, 30 seconds ahead of Mitch Bonaventura. And then 5 seconds behind Mitch Bonaventura, it's going to be Nick Terrell. Marcus Osborne crashed once again. What happened this time, Marcus? Skyline catch you? Yo, Skyline caught you. Slides back across. Gets the car going again. Definitely a heck of a ricochet. As you come in there. The car's still moving. Car's got stuff on the wheels, so... less than 23 minutes left, meaning got plenty of time for these drivers to figure out where they want to be for the finishing order. Heck of a roster of drivers that have crashed. Of our 32 that started, I think we are down to about 26, all things considered. All battles separated by seconds at this point, minus this one we have between Luke Plaisance and Jason Larson for 5th in class. Jason Larson up 4 positions from where he started in 9th to 5th. William Lemaster went off track and then jumped to pits. Oh, and that right there is why, but I don't think that tells the whole story. I would love to restart this lap for this driver. Comes into pit lane. Let's see. Nope. All right. All right. Let's do it this way. No, that car is already hurting. I gotta imagine. Oh, and that's where that happened. When he leaves pit lane, does he still have damage there? Yeah, it looks like it. Looks like he got something. Something happened to him amongst all that. Jason Larson, meanwhile, getting that car in to a fight with Luke Plaisance over 5th place here in the closing stages. Marcus Osborne, Joe Evers keeping up with Luke Penley amongst all this as well. Dan Griffin finding another crash amongst this. The Skyline claims yet another soul. Oh. In much a similar way, we saw Marcus Osborne a lap earlier. Taking a look at that battle, kind of the incident there for Dan Griffin. And kind of seeing how this battle between Jason Larson and Luke Plaisance is currently playing out. 6 tenths between these two. Last real battle for overall position on track. Joe Evers still also battling with Luke Penley for P11 overall, but kind of more not in class. Though points are all scored together, so every point helps. Every position helps give you more points. And I realized Jason Larson's Corvette is missing his left side mirror, and I'm wondering what wall he ran into that cost him that. Pedal failed and put me on the wall with on the brake. Tony Caicedo talking in the OMEC discussion chat. Take a quick look at what happened to DJ McAteer here. A little further ways back. Skyline once again claiming another. Oh, almost had it. And just crunch. Oh, kept the wing though. Gets that car going again, so it could have been worse. Jason Larson getting a bit of a moment there, keeping the car going the right direction, though, but it's going to cost him a little bit of time. Falling out almost of the draft as well from Luc Plaisance. This battle coming to a close. And with that, almost all the battles on track, Joe Evers and Luke Penley, I think the last ones currently going on there for the time being in overall positions. A heck of a race. Full of, I would say, some pretty serious off tracks, things of that nature. Everybody seems to have walked away from it pretty darn well, though I may regret saying this. Oh, great save out of Tom Leeson there. I wanted to see what happened. I only saw the off track. I didn't see anything else there, and I was like, oh no. So, great save there out of Tom Leeson. Luke Penley, Joe Evers. Last on-track battle for the moment between these two drivers. Wesley Woods in the background of it, just behind them, where he currently is in 19th out of 32. A heck of a good drive for him, up 5 positions from where he started. Liam Beebe up 12 from where he started. Our drivers of attrition now increased to 6. Just about 15 minutes left to go in this race. Plenty of opportunities for drivers to kind of cement their positions. It's a lot about keeping this car going the correct direction at this point as we get to a close.
Ben, how are you, buddy?
Oh, maybe Mike was muted. Might help if I don't leave myself muted when I'm trying to talk to you, huh?
It usually helps, yeah.
Good save, I think is the.
Thank you. That's the second or third one today.
Well, it's the first one I caught of the ones up the skyline. I saw about 4 or 5 drivers not save it there. So great work saving it.
You know, I had a lot of practice crashing into that wall and trying to save it, and I think it finally clicked, halfway through the race. So.
Hey, that's good. So I think you'll inherit P3 on the podium here as it currently stands because Marcus Osborne's points don't count.
Oh, okay. Well, I can stop driving so hard then.
You could, or you could try to catch him.
No, I can't. Zach's also pouring it on here at the end, trying to catch up to me. So
yeah,
I gotta try to at least keep my foot in it a little bit.
All right. Well, I won't bug you too much then. Just know that chat is excited to hear that you're in the broadcast booth. Your team. So you're not team engineers, paddock members.
My fan club's here.
Yeah, your fan club. There we go. Your fan club is in chat. Excited to see you take home a podium. So we'll see. Gotta keep it in though.
Well,
so I'll leave you to it.
Yeah, I'll do my best not to disappoint them.
We'll find out. Got 15 minutes, I believe. I believe you can do it. So I'll leave you to it. Good luck.
I believe too. Thanks, man.
Alrighty. Tom Leeson. I feel weirdly stressed trying to talk to people when they're in the Bathurst. I'm always like, I don't really want to cause too much problems because it's such hard commitment. You're always on like the ragged edge of grip. You're always trying to like get the most out of the time. And to do that, you almost have to throw the car at walls darn near a good portion of that lap and hope it doesn't hit it by like driving it separately. It's a bizarre experience. So it's one I'm always like, I don't really want to bother them too much, especially when they're in these fights where, Zachary Holden pouring on the pressure here with a minute to go. You know what I could do? Let's throw a loop for this. Rolling chicane. How are we doing?
I'm desperately trying to chase Tom down right now.
Tom is desperately trying to run away from you. So I just talked with him.
Desperately trying not to die.
That is always the goal. I would say I think you're doing better currently than 9 other drivers. So keep it up.
Ooh, I'll take it.
So,
yeah, whose sadistic idea of fun was this to throw the track temperature into like the hook and egg on it range?
I don't know. I'm going to guess it's Marcus. I'm going to blame Marcus because I get to blame Marcus for everything. He's not here to defend himself, so it's the perfect time to do it.
It's wild the pace temperature or the pace difference between this and practice last night.
Mm-hmm. Because of the temperature being so hot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man.
I'm just hoping I got tires left by the time I catch Tom here.
I believe you're getting about...
But I can't pass him if I don't.
Oh, yeah. Marcus
If I don't catch him,
Osborne
I can't pass him. So.
with a black flag for running into Wesley Woods, who also has a black flag. Good job, guys. And he toes. Great. Yeah, I'd say you're running pretty well. Statistically, about half a second to a second faster. So you've got the pace as it stands. And you have 3 seconds to catch him to make it a intense battle for the finish here. For the bottom slap of the podium. I believe.
All right, we'll see what we can do here.
Okay, I will leave you to it. Let you focus in. Multi-class traffic, I think is going to... Sorry, multi-class traffic. Lap traffic, I think is going to help you out as well. So, I'll leave you to it. Good luck.
See this. Yep.
And that was our rolling chicane team, both Zachary Holden and Hayden Mamenga. 2 drivers having a heckin' time of a race. And lap traffic going currently in the favor of Zachary Holden to allow Tom Leeson to slow down a little bit more. But a pretty sizable gap Oh, Zachary Holden, you got to keep it going the right direction. Doesn't benefit you at all to crash it with such little time left. Speaking of crashing it, Hayden Momenka. Well, it's still moving, so it could be worse. Kevin Hayes passing Wesley Woods for 18th overall. Oh man, this is down to a second between Luke Plaisance and Jason Larson as well. So a couple of late race battles developing as we get into it. Jason Larson half a second faster than Luke Plaisance in this closing laps. Less than 10 minutes to go for these two battles. It'll be an intense final few moments for both drivers. Oh, Zachary Holden had to allow, or chose to allow, probably well that he did so, let Nick Terrell come through. But it means that Tom Leeson will probably have to do the same here. As we get into it. It has been an intense 80 minutes of racing. Not truly a dull moment to be found. Battles happening, coming and going. Though the constant pressure of the mountain remains, and one small slip sees everyone from our finest drivers of Dan Griffin and some other amazing individuals. Kevin Hayes, though that was more of a technical issue. Up and down the order have issues at this track. It's always one that I love to drive at. It's such a technical track, so difficult to get passes done, so difficult to get the best out of your lap time without almost also killing the car in the process. Zachary Holden still has the pace, but has to regain that second and a half he lost, letting Nick Terrell through. Nick Terrell, however, has to get around Tom Leeson in the process, which may make this a little bit more interesting as we get into the closing moments here. I'd also go talk to Patrick Cantrell, but he doesn't ever talk to us on broadcast, so I can just appreciate his paints from afar. Keep an eye on this when the multi-class traffic allows its way through. I keep on saying multi-class. I had a GTP GT3 race earlier today, so forgive me for saying multi-class a bunch. Lapped traffic is probably the more accurate term here. Not multi-class. Tom Leeson trying to find a good opportunity there where it doesn't cost him or Nick Terrell too much time to allow him through. Chooses a slower inside line to allow it to happen. Nope. Chooses, not intentionally. I think it's just how that worked out. Meanwhile, up at the front, setting his fastest time of the race, Nicholas Maynard gets a 2:03.12 in. And Nick Terrell, coming around to take the racing line, gets around to Leeson. A second and a half between Tom Leeson and Zachary Holden after Nick Terrell gets his way through. Luke Plaisance, Jason Larson separated by a second and a half as well. Closest battles on track. Important ones to keep an eye on as we get into the final 5 or so minutes. We got probably about 3 or so laps left. I'm going to guess 3, given that Nicholas Maynard's working his way up. Griffin's once again 41 laps in the books. 3 more to go, including the one that he's on. We'll see all but the top 8 be a lap down after 85 minutes of racing. That is wild. Tom Leeson desperately trying to hold on to the P3 podium spot for GT3 AM. Keeps the gap at about a second and a half to 2 seconds in the closing stages here. Same for Luke Plaisance, who holds out over Jason Larson. closest battles on track. We're kind of following along with one of them. I'm going to bounce over to the other. Get an onboard ride. You can see as we get into the cutting once more. Such a fun corner. Such a technical one to get right and maximize your time. And when you get it right, it just feels like you're just rolling around a roller coaster. You really feel that on the way down, too, with how much the car zips back and forth. Oh, such good commitment out of Jason Larson there. And Luke Plaisance, just a little bit of a lift, a little bit of a break, but not a ton. As we get into sunset here on track. Zachary Holden having a bit of a slow moment. Labeled as crash. Let's see what happened here, which caused the game to list there being a crash. On the way down, just getting into the dipper. I wonder if he overshot it just a little bit, that braking zone. Oh, a little bit of a crunch there. And that's going to cost him a bit of time. And I think, unfortunately, that battle may come to a close. 2 laps to go for these two. And the pace differential, maybe too great for Zachary Holden to overcome once again. Same for probably Jason Larson at this point. But the race is not over yet. 2 laps left. Plenty of racing still to go. See if we get the white flag this time. But we may not. We might have 2 more laps. Oh, well, this would be 2 more laps for this driver. I don't think we have the white flag this time. I think we got 2 more laps. Yeah, our flag man, you can see hanging out there just by where the break in the red barrier is, has not displayed the white flag yet. Taking a look at our leader of the race, Nicholas Maynard, 38 seconds ahead of Mitch Buenaventura, just flying in that 100 Force Lamborghini. Luke Plaisance losing a little bit of time because of lap traffic of Joe Evers. The battle, keep an eye on between him and Jason Larson at this point. With I think 1 lap to go as Nicholas Maynard is rounding his way around the start-finish line here in just a moment. We'll take a look here. It's coming down the cutting as... coming down to Murray's corner as we speak. Which means we should see the white flag out from Barney. We do indeed. 1 more time around for Nicholas Maynard. And therefore the rest of the field. So still a lap and a half to go for these drivers who are still ahead of the P1 Oh, and Luke Plaisance doesn't have enough fuel to go to the distance. He has to come in and take an extra lap of fuel. It's going to be heartbreaking and kind of bring an end to the fight between him and Jason Larson for P5. See where he comes out. Michael Doyen going to pick up a spot there. I think we might see one out of Patrick Cantrell as well, depending on how only 6 seconds in the box. So it might be a close one between Luke and Patrick. See Mr. Cantrell there across the barrier. He's going to come out, I think, just behind Luke Plaisance, but have a bit of a good run out of the first corner from the speed difference. Luke Penley, I think, now trying to fight Daniel Weininger for the lead on the final lap, final couple corners. Weininger on the radio. I wonder if he's got some fuel issues going on. 2:08 this last time by. May see him duking it out to try to hold on to the lead of the race. 3:10 separate these two drivers as they go into Murray's corner. Is there going to be a look out of Luke Penley? There is not. He keeps it close. He's waiting for that opportunity, but I think they will come across as they are. Taking home 1-2 for Daryl Weininger and Luke Penley. You see Nicholas Maynard going to burn it down there. 104 style by just dragging the brake across that. Tom Leeson making his way down to round out the P3, or the GT3 AM podium. Mitch Buenaventura and Nick Terrell managing to get P1 or P2 and P3 in GT3 Pro as well. Get the flash of the lights there as we see that car continue to just kind of burn it down. And the rest of the field working their way around to take to the checkered flag as we get set to wrap up the evening of racing and get on to the results for round number 4, race number 6, our second endurance week of season 13. And our last one before the break. Our off-week shenanigans happening next week on February 10th. We waiting to come over to the line. I think it's Liam Beebe. Got to be one of the last drivers to come home and take to the checkered flag along with Kevin. Oh, not Kevin Hayes, excuse me. Along with Hayden Mamenga, who is taking a rather unusual line. Oh. Actual last driver coming home to take the checkered flag. Gonna be Liam Beebe, who comes home in 5th in GT3 AM. And we got ourselves some results from this race. For the winner is going to be Nicholas Maynard. Second, 40 seconds behind is going to be Mitch Ventura. 6 seconds behind him. Nick Terrell rounding out that podium. Nate Sides and Jason Larson going to be the top 5 after Jason Larson takes it from Luke Plaisance due to the last lap fuel up for him. And Michael Doyen going to split the difference between those two drivers as a result. Luke Plaisance coming home in 7th. Patrick Cantrell, Ben Widener, and Joe Evers rounding out the top 10. Kelvin Collado, Kevin Hayes, William LeMaster going to be the first of a litany of drivers here. I say litany, a handful of drivers. Sebastian Trulio, Dan Griffin, Tony Caicedo, and Tyler Roberts, the last 5 of which do not take to the checkered flag. In GT3 AM, sees Daryl Weininger take home his first win of the season. Through only 3/10 ahead of Luke Penley. Tom Leeson going to round out that podium. Session disconnected on last lap. That's what? No. Patrick Cantrell ends up in 8th. Oh, that sucks. It seems like a very big issue in terms of session disconnects or technical gremlins this week for these drivers. Zachary Holden, Liam Beebe going to round out the top 5 there. Wesley Woods, Grayson Parks, Adam Dahl are going to be the 8 drivers that take the checkered flag. Marcus Osborne, Hayden Mamenga also taking the checkered flag. Marcus Osborne, DJ McAteer, Tim Schaefer, Joshua Harless, Alex Haller, and Jordan Oliver all going to finish many laps down. Most, I believe, do not finish the race. A heck of a drive here this week at Bathurst. The attrition was brutal and somewhat not surprising. We'll have to take a look here at what we're going to do with the off week. So I am going to call this broadcast here a little bit and take my own break of a sort. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time after our week break. Maybe we'll do something on the off week as well. And then we'll be back heading to our third sprint round of the season, which takes us to the Nürburgring GP circuit, as well as Hockenheim Ring. And that's going to be fun. I love the Nürburgring Grand Prix circuit. I think both of these will be great for GT3 driving. Jeez, English. Not my strong suit today. So, with that, we're going to end it off here. Thank you all very much for watching. We'll see you all in a week's time for week number 5 of Osborne Motors Endurance Challenge Week, Season 13. I have been Fettuccini, barely able to talk apparently, it turns out. So I'm going to call it here. I'll see you all in a couple of weeks' time. Maybe Marcus will be back in the booth with me to help me English a little bit better. We'll find out. See if he wants to stay in the car, though. It seemed like he had a lot of fun tonight. So wish you all very much a wonderful time. Have a good time off for the drivers here. We'll see you all very soon.